Have you been drinking tonight, sir? Listen, if officers can use these, these great Lego flashlights, the keychain, by the way, portable. Listen, I can vouch. Lego, you made a good product. I unironically needed a flashlight for my desk area, my room, not counting my phone, and I love this. It's been around for years. I had it in my closet for a while. Whenever I needed to use it, it's like, oh, I actually do need a flashlight. And honestly, the more I use this, the more I think about how handy it is just to have a keychain flashlight. You can put on your keys. In this case, yeah, it's for my room, but I really love seeing how far Lego has gotten. They've been around for a long time, but they went almost bankrupt in the late 90s and the 2000s, and thankfully Bionicle saved them. So it's cool to have this combination of, Bionicle they weren't standard Legos, right? That was with like the Technic program, the Technic subgroup of Legos, but it was still Lego, which was cool, and it saved the company. Which, I talk about the 2000s era of cool. That is like apex cool. Bionicle, Metroid Prime Hunters, Star Wars, the prequels, just in general, a lot of just cool aspects in that timeline. And it just happens to line up that it's May 4th today. But I'm actually not talking about Star Wars today. And with these things, there's a lot of things I've been wanting to talk about. We're coming up to quite a bit now with all these topics I've done in terms of the years going by now. I'll never forget, it started in 2024. So we are reaching in 2 years this summer. And there's just been a lot of things I've enjoyed talking about and wanted to talk about. One of these things is the blunt statement of here's some context. My father is a meteorologist, so imagine me going for a walk, especially in early college when I was walking a lot. But the context of going for a walk, and my dad knows it's going to be raining out in like 30 minutes, but I didn't check. You come back, you're drenched after your cardio walk, and your dad just looks at you thinking, did you not see the forecast? And you just go, man, it's rough out there. I love the bluntness of stating the obvious when something might be a bit challenging. And so it's rough out there is both simple but also complex. One of my most favorite jokes, which again is kind of its own meaning of this, is both complex but so simple. One of my favorite jokes in the show Seinfeld, which is definitely one of the greatest and funniest shows ever made, just in general, is when they're in the sauna and there's just a little bit of a delay. There's no one saying anything for a bit, and Kramer is, obviously like in a sauna, he's sweating up. He's like, man, it's like a sauna in here. And the way they delivered it with the other people just slowly looking at him, it just reminds me of how both loose and specific the term X thing is tough, X thing is challenging. It's hot like a sauna in here, right? Or again, going out to walk and you get drenched in rain, coming back saying it's rough out there. and, there can be that ambiguity in comedy where it's both you're being serious but also ironic, on the fence. Oftentimes you can, a lot of those great comedians are on the fence with their comedy. You can't tell if it's fiction or nonfiction with some of the things they say. But I think in today's world, when people say it's rough out there, I think it's becoming more and more realistic. And I know fellow friends and family members have been telling me it's been rough for them. I host monthly Pokemon tournaments in person online and Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments online. And I've noticed there's been people that used to go a lot that can't go as much. And never once am I going to say, what are you doing? Why aren't you showing up? No, it doesn't upset me at all. It's always going to be concerning. To me, it's concerning if someone that has shared that they've enjoyed playing games, going to an event, and they stop showing up as much. Then you take a look around and it's rough out there. There's, people raising rent a lot, out of nowhere, spiking rent, and people can't afford it, so they have to get another job. Thus, that's a reason why some players might not be able to attend. Working more in general, just to fight against, the raising gas prices out there, the raising the higher prices of groceries when they go to the store. It's not just economically. I think there's a lot of people out there that, to me, this is one of those things where I wouldn't call it imposter syndrome, but for some, I'm borderline addicted to challenge. And so to me, I've always looked at challenge in the face and say, hey, let's play. That entices me. When someone beats me in a game, it competitively motivates me. It's like, wow, you got me good. I can't wait to play you again. And honestly, I resonate a lot with Goku in Dragon Ball. He's very similar. Now, I'm not going to give healing potions to an evil warlord like Cell, but definitely a similar competitive drive. So when I hear about people going through challenges and hardships, even though I might be borderline addicted to challenge, everyone has different lifestyles, everyone has different paths of life, everyone has things they might not talk about that they're going through. I think it's important to have that level of sympathy and understand that, well, that's exactly it. Understand, being able to listen. It's rough out there, but being able to be tough anywhere is a sword that you can carry for the rest of your life and inspire others to sharpen their sword. Larry Cullen, Peter Cullen's brother, I love that quote where he told Peter Cullen, when Peter Cullen was auditioning for Optimus Prime, and he told his brother, who was a war veteran, he's a hero. And Larry said, if you're going to be a hero, be a real hero. Be strong enough to be gentle. There's a lot of people that, to them, they feel that being kind, being gentle, being understanding is weakness. But in fact, it's the opposite. It's demonstrating strength. It's demonstrating that you are understanding that there are hardships in the world that, while not at times you can be there to help someone out, if you can help them sharpen their sword, they can fight back against what's oppressing them, what's challenging them, what's pushing against them. It's rough out there, but I'm always hoping for people around me and people I haven't even met yet that they can pick themselves back up and keep at it. I completely understand how hard it can be in this day and age. Sometimes people feel helpless. They feel voiceless. In my country, we have senators that we talk to and hopefully trying to get bills passed along, but at times it can feel like that. Where are the ambitions for running these laws? Where are the ambitions for caring about people? I think at the end of the day, you have to use your brain to bypass selfish intent, selfish instincts. Obviously, there's a bit of selfishness for us to survive. But in terms of being okay, putting yourself out there to make sure others are okay is a great sign of strength. Obviously, again, you if you're a full-on giver, you want to have anything for yourself. There's definitely a balance of that. And I always am the firm believer of what my great-grandma Nyla said about give a hand up, not a hand out. But that hand up can be a thorough way to show someone that they have value. It can show someone that they can fight challenges in a world that can be pretty rough. It's rough out there, but I hope people can continue to be tough every day. It's one of those things where when people talk about, wow, you were strong enough just getting out of bed, I've thought about that more, and there are people that they struggle to get out of bed, not because they're lazy, but because there's so many things around them that make them feel hopeless. But I hope they realize that they're not hopeless, and there's always some great things in the world we live in that can pop up any day. From just seeing a nice red cardinal on a tree to having your friends text you and say, hey, do you want to go get some Culver's frozen custard? I think there are small things like that can really drive for ambition. And by driving that ambition to keep at it each day, you can help inspire others to keep at it each day. Being able to see, rough doesn't have to have a negative context here. Rough can be challenging, rough can be hard for others, but see rough as being able to toughen the skin around you, to sharpen your sword, sharpen your shield, and not just keep at it, but it's keeping at it with a resilience of consistency. Because with that consistency, being able to have challenge being thrown your way and not alter your resolve, alter who you are, and hopefully that who you are is someone that can help others keep walking. I think being tested, especially in this day and age where things are getting more expensive, it's harder for people to even get jobs. There's massive layoffs everywhere. Being able to give a really nice hand up right now can make quite the difference. A hand up also can just be a text message checking in on a friend, checking in on a family member. And this isn't to say that people that, it's obviously a complex thing. I use the example of, a landlord raising rent for someone dramatically. I understand, and this isn't, I know there's people making memes about landlords are evil. I don't think that's the case. That's a job. Part of the job is property management. But there are times where greed can get to their head and they're not understanding the context that people live there. If they're paying and you're doing pretty well in life, you have to really ask yourself how much of a ripple effect you're doing if you dramatically increase like lease and rent, especially if before a lease is up, or just again dramatically raising that. I think it's having that power of sympathy, of understanding how tough it is out there. Not everyone is fit to be tough at that moment. I'm an advocate of helping people to become tough. I think it's important to do that. And again, being tough is being strong enough to be gentle. Because when you're tough, the saying when it's rough out there becomes more of a challenge, a frequent challenge to be able to strengthen yourself. And it can be tough. There are moments where life can try to really beat you down. But like my favorite comic book character, Captain America, being able to get back on your boots, strap on that shield, and look at what's rough right there directly and say, I can do this all day, is something that's not only good for you, but for others around you. For people out there that are having a hard time, I'm hoping the best for you. Because I think that by you demonstrating that you can pick yourself back up and then have the charity and grace to give that form of inspiration to others, that's how you make the world a better and safer place. That is a day worth living, a week worth living, a month worth living, Star Wars Day worth living, a lifetime of great moments that you can share with others. And even when people are gone, they continue to inspire others each and every day. I love Mondays.